Happy Halloween! Or close enough. Tonight we dance the mamushka for a treasure from my basement, one of the most underrated games I've ever loved, which happens to be based on a favorite movie, but also happens to be a solid hop-and-bop platformer, with a unique focus on exploration that sets it apart from other contemporaries in the genre. And now, it's showtime! So here we are, outside my own house, with a crappy little life bar and crappy 5 lives. We can get the invincibility shield, but I don't particularly need it. You can see I have a lot of random money floating around. Well, if you've seen the movie, you've seen the size of the Addams treasury. No explanation for why it's all floating around outside, but I'll take it anyway. So you can drop down both the chimneys here. This one's kinda crappy, it just has this grid of money, which is in quite generous supply. And these random little armless lizard men walking around. This one's a bit more useful. Get some extra lives, which again are in quite generous supply if you know where to farm them, which is what I am about to show you. So the inside of the house is a central hub area for various other levels, and our first order of business is to find out exactly what my son Pugsley has been hiding under the stairs. Just a few little goodies here, but we've just scratched the surface. I don't think it would be fair to call the kid a hoarder because his stash is too well organized. We've got random speed shoes, and we've also got this random room full of hearts. Seriously, that's all there is to it. But I've said many times that this game is made with a lot of heart, and this exemplifies it in a very silly and literal sense. There's just so much in the way of secrets that may not serve a huge purpose, but just fun to discover, and they always make me smile. Next up is the sports hall with your choice of weapons. Sword can stab straight up, which is the only way to collect certain items. We're going to go with a golf ball for now. Can still pick up some things for you. And we're about to go back in here and get up to that top floor with our conveniently placed hat from the hat room. Yep, this is exactly as advertised. And since the game only stores the number of 1-ups you have, as opposed to the location of 1-ups collected, all the 1-ups come back every time you start a new game. So it's really easy to get yourself started. So out here we have our first boss and our first life meter extension. You can actually see this guy if you let the demo reel play for long enough. So you can stomp him in the head, or just spam your weapon at him. Yeah, easiest upgrade ever. And we've got our password. So next up is the kitchen, which is kind of like a Disney movie gone wrong. Got your sadistic teacup men. Got your angry coffee creamers. Random birds just because. and walking fish bowls, I guess. I don't know. You really don't question these enemies as a kid. Or maybe you do. Maybe I just didn't pay attention. So here we have these handy thing blocks which point a finger at various hints and objectives. Now that I'm done boring you with terrible puns, let's go into our obligatory ice level with obligatory slippery floors and obligatory pointy death on floor and ceiling. And me immediately running into one of these annoying little penguins and losing my shoes. At least they're easy to bounce off of and grab this invincibility shield. If I keep the shoes, I can fly through this level pretty well, but it should at least get me most of the way. Yeah, it's good enough. Lots of little random point stashes. All those really do for you is get you a 1-up every time you get 50,000. Ow. When I first started playing this game again after digging the Super Nintendo out of the basement, this level was a fail reel in and of itself. I just kept sliding into things, bumping my head into things, falling into things because I misjudged the distances. I'm still having a bit of active recorder performance anxiety. But not doing too badly. Ow! Spoke too soon. Oh boy, I can get that random extra dollar I skipped. Yay! Whoop-de-freaking-do. Yeah, you really need to be precise with your jump heights here, and unfortunately I'm devolving somewhat into button mashing. Trying to think of smarter things to say than repeating the Addams Family started when Uncle Fester farted over and over and over again. Well, I suppose I can make that more intelligent by making it into some kind of reference to singularities, but I'm no astrophysicist, so I'm not even gonna try. At least this game is very good at handing out life refills and also mid-level checkpoints. At least until the very last stages, but that's part of their intended challenge, so it's fine. And here we have some more free stuff. Just ducked and slid into the wall there. Now, boss time! This guy's a bit annoying because of the icy floor and the ceiling spikes that keep falling on your head, but at least he only has 4 hit points. Wow, after all my failure in the level, I managed to beat him without a scratch. Not too shabby. That's a nice little one-off musical flourish that's not played anywhere else in the game, and of course Gomez is impatient for me to get back to business here. So, let's. And now we're off to the conservatory, a lovely glass house of chirpy birds and assorted pointy things trying to kill you. Here's a handy Easter egg. This door takes you to the other end of the stage. We won't be using it for our purposes, but it might help you out if you are in the mood to explore this entire area. Sadistic as it can get in times, it's actually pretty cool. It's got some crazy one-way doors and other secret rooms. And here's one right here, just duck on this pot. I can't decide if this is a typo or a devious scheme. Either way, it's free stuff, so who really cares? Ow. Yeah, no biggie, there's another shoe right here. And also another small cache. Don't ask me how I found this stuff. I just spent months screwing around with this game. That's pretty much it. Some of these secrets I learned from Nintendo Power, which sold me on this game in the first place. But there was quite a lot I found on my own. Because this really lends itself well to goofing off. As it's easy to farm one-ups. There are plenty of mid-level checkpoints, and the game just rewards you for messing around, and if you die, it's not like you're set back very far. Now we don't want to hit that switch. We bounced off Bunny Foo-Foo here, because if we hit the switch then this would have been blocked off. Yeah, vine jumping time. Let's try to get low and tap the jump button. And then just fall down this last one here. And time for our last heart. This is a pretty simple war of attrition. Get in the corner. Stomp the bodies, avoid the heads. Lather, rinse, repeat. Try not to fall asleep in the process. Or if you're like me, don't pay attention and jump into the bodies instead. Now if you want, you can work your way back through this area of the conservatory. I prefer not to. Instead, we're going to warp. Pause, press select again, and say hello to the continue room. This door on the right takes you back to the title screen, and this door on the left will take you back to the main hall. And you might notice this little arrow here. That's what it's for, indicating another secret. So who's up for a rousing game of Is There a God? And right above our head here is the only ceiling hole that doesn't go anywhere. This drove me nuts as a kid. I came back in here with an infinite Fezzycopter cheat, and nothing. Because normally, those are either the entrances or exits to secret rooms, but I'm guessing there is unfinished room data somewhere. All these lovely guillotines, executioners, and restraints on the scenery. Those are tough to get past without getting hit. It is possible that I am failing it. This is a neat stage, which we will actually be skipping over most of. So we go to the rack, we go right back to the door, and here we are in the toy tower. And there are several levels in here whose main purpose is to get us between different floors of the toy tower. But there are hidden ropes on each end, so we can skip all that entirely, and now we are at the last room before the boss. And some more free stuff. Wow. Yeah, my distance judgment fails it. Not gonna sweat it too much. I mainly wanted the one-up. So here we have Pugsley and the wacky scientist, who's really more of an executioner. He could jump on his head, or just wail on with his golf ball. But Father, I was working on a new poison for Wednesday with the wacky scientist. And as you can see, he was also working on some alchemy. I don't want to know where he got this money, but it's legal tender, so I'll take it. So I guess Pugsley's poison is in a partially completed state, so we might as well go get Wednesday so he can try it out. So we're going to go under the tree. Yeah, that's what it's called, under the tree, 'cause it is. Quite an apt name for this level. Oh, I missed the elevator. Guess I'll have to take the stairs. Might as well grab that. I do love how the shield gives you a long bubbling sound before it's about to expire. I also love how you can swim as much as you want and stomp the piranha fish. This is really quite a player-friendly game. There's no instant death, and exploring tends to reward you. Like in this case right here. And believe me, all the times I've been messing up have been my own failure. So we want to jump off little bunny Foo-Foo here, and get up this hidden passage. And you can drop down, go swimming, find a couple more one-ups, but getting up involves work and I'm lazy. And we're not hurting for lives at all. So let's just finish up. Wake the dead! Wake the dead! And right into the crypt. Or the upper tomb, rather. Whatever. Building with dead people in it. Don't really see the need to get too technical. Not so spooky with an invincibility shield. Now there's a room to the left that you can get to by leaving and returning, which resets the switch. It's called Cryptic Climb. But it's a rather annoying vertical level, and it takes a lot of work to get up to the top just for a couple lousy one-ups. So in the interest of expediency, I skipped it. Now, the road to Wednesday is basically a long platforming stretch without much in the way of shortcuts. Ow. This room really could be a lot worse than it is. First of all, the lava doesn't kill you. Second of all, even if you do hit your head like I am repeatedly, you do have a reasonable chance of falling down onto a platform instead of falling down and going boom. And also, there is a checkpoint, so if you die over here, as I very well might, yep. Well, I guess I didn't get that far. I just need to have a rhythm for jumping at the edge of the platform. There we go. Wasn't too bad. Yay, missing an easy jump. Way to fail. Well, part of my problem is I tend to remember most of this game in terms of muscle memory, so when I mistime something, when I'm just a little off, Then it just throws off that sense of, well, at least however much of it I have left. That's another nicety. You can actually kill enemies from the side as long as you're higher than some point. And you notice I backtracked because there is a hole in the ceiling here. Oh, just barely got through without a scratch. That jester is, sure trying to make up for kicking my ass in his little jumping room there. This is somewhat of a shortcut because it lets us skip a bit of the crazy crypt. Here's another little jumping sequence that's fun if you're rusty like I am. There's just not a lot of room to get around. Just some money up here. Things that are easy when you're 13. Not so much 21 years later. Ah, forget it. Well, I suppose I can blame the controller because I did have this one instance of it getting stuck with Gomez ducking. Yeah, let's go with that. It's the controller's fault. I didn't do that. There's a room that looks confusing. It's actually straightforward. Well, it's got that problem of me hitting my head on things repeatedly, but other than that, there's only one way to go. Yeah, lots of hidden stuff all over the place. I love that. Cool, we're almost done. Well, almost done with Wednesday's level, that is. Almost! Alright, ghastly goblin, what do you got for me? Oh, a pretty simple rectangle pattern, that's all. Hello, Father. Thank you for rescuing me, but honestly, I was having so much fun. I believe her, because this is where she was camping out in the movie when she ran away from fake but not quite fake Uncle Fester. And again, we can work our way back, but let's not. And back to the realm of sadistic cooks and angry creamery or angry creamer pots. Angry crockery, there we go. Yes, it is tasty indeed. I love how there are dungeon bars on the windows here. Makes you wonder exactly what the Addams family eats for dinner. From what I gathered in the movie, it's kind of tenderized and still moving. Now we have an ambulatory fishbowl in the cookie jar for some reason. And into the stove. Now, it is possible to hit a switch in such a way that you can get back up here and in this door, but it's really not worth it. There's not a lot of stuff in the red-hot maze worth worrying about, and it doesn't get you significantly further ahead than the standard route. And that's what I mean by my controller sticking. I wasn't just ducking for fun there. Yeah, pretty much everything in here hurts you, so don't touch it. There's another short level that can be really annoying if you're not doing so well with precision jumping. Case in point. When I was a kid, I would just bounce right through here. But there are 21 years between then and now, and yep, there we go. At least the switch stays on. I have no idea how to get over that without getting hit. Not even sure it's possible. Some crazy huge oven. Granny must be cooking for the entire extended Addams family on occasion. You have to hit the switch if you want that heart, because otherwise there's a wall there. And as I'm about to show you, well, sort of, you just have to take my word through it, or play through it yourself, or watch somebody else's playthrough that does do the whole oven. I'm about to skip through a whole bunch of it. You noticed I ignored that switch? That is because that wall to the door leaves open a passage up here to the last oven. And trust me, I just saved myself a ton of work. And a bunch of touchy platforming. Boing. I love these swirling stars. They're a fitting serenade to the boss fight. Now this one's really a war of attrition. It's really best fought by camping out in the corner and waiting for Mr. Dragon here to do his loop-de-loo so you can smack him in the head. If you stand in the middle, you can jump on him as he's coming out of the lava pits. But I prefer to just camp out here and make it easy on myself. I mean, of course, if you're me, you can be a doofus and still bounce into his body anyhow. But yeah, I also have this Pavlovian reaction to the fireball sound, and sometimes I'll actually jump into a fireball going over my head. Since this is gonna take a while, I might as well warn you about a problem with the passwords. I'll spare you the programming lecture, but let's just say it bugs out if either of your lives digits are 9. A cheap way to fix this is to set digits 3 and 4 to 1, both to 1, and then try a different 5th digit until it works. This actually gets you 100 lives, which isn't possible in normal gameplay, but it validates. Go figure. What took you so long, Gomez? I was just getting very comfortable. Finished furnace. Welcome to my favorite part of the game. This is long, there's not much in the way of shortcuts here. There's lots of joust leftovers and little random men on unicycles. These character portraits are awesome for 1992 standards. And wait, what are birds doing in here? Guess they're refugees from the conservatory. At any rate, you got these nifty quilted detail and this nifty striped wallpaper. Ow. Sorted pointing surfaces, and me failing at basic platforming. And a nice enemy-free alternative to the rest of this level here. Yeah, I like how they tried to mix up the scenery, even though they're of course using the same trap tropes and whatnot. These weapon racks are cool. And the spitting bears. And again, I'm able to do a lot of this from memory because you don't necessarily have a lot of forewarning for some of these projectiles flying from off-screen. Notice the hole in the ceiling. This one took me forever to find. Make the blocks, jump off to the left, and bingo. Yeah, here we want to hit the first switch and just get through the rest of the level, or at least up until the midpoint or so without hitting any others. Here there's some hidden blocks to help cross the pit without getting hurt. And what this accomplished was leaving this room unblocked. Yeah, you need to hold either direction so you don't fall down and lose your chance to get a golf ball and a heart. And here the guillotines make a reappearance. Pugsley and Wednesday must approve. Yeah, I like how the shoes and the weaponry serve as accident insurance. You probably noticed that if I get hit while I'm carrying them, I lose them and I do not lose a heart. Like right then and there. Alright, this next area is supposed to be an exercise in precision flight. I'm about to turn it into an exercise in can't lose button mashing. Probably noticed the shelf up here at the end of the weaponry. So you get back up here. And you got this nice supply closet. Now if you get 2 pairs of speed shoes, they stack. And you can run ridiculously fast. So we want to get one pair of speed shoes. We leave the room, come back in so they regenerate. Second pair. 3, 2, 1, go! Run, Forrest, run! With all that extra speed, we can easily make it to the end of the level before we lose our invincibility. Ow. Thank you, Mr. Bear. That was very helpful. Now I can get this one up. And here we have the one rug in the hall that's not spitting bears, and I just slid into the floor. Another lovely bit of one-off scenery detail in the bear's mouth. Not entirely sure what the best one to jump off of is. Ah, there, finally got it. Last few times through here I just kept, well, yeah, and then I got hit anyway by this flying sword. I love these rooms. Let's all get it out of our systems now. Armageddon perks! And a nook with some cash. Here's another good example of developer creativity. Just check out these book titles. It's a pity you can't read some of them. It makes me suspect that they developed them all before they figured out the final room layout. But there's still plenty to be amused by. Plagues. Okay, I need to stop reading and start paying attention to the game. These annoying little spring thingies. Mo. Mo spells, spells, and arg. Mo spells, mo money, mo problems. Ow. Mo not paying attention, self. Blank, traps, and end. Now, press up here. Oops. Or, yeah, I wasn't standing in the right place. Some more neato scenery. Oh, that's right, you need to bounce off of the bookworm. Or you can just go wait until you get the Fezzicopter later on in the level, but I prefer this cute little detail here. Cool, I just made back all the hearts I lost by being silly. Up, up, and away! And, fittingly, the Fezzicopter. Remember one night, I just grabbed the Fezzicopter and the golf ball and killed all the enemies and flew around until I got bored. It took a while. I was an easily entertained child. Especially when it came to this game. And the Fezzicopter makes the rest of this level pretty simple. Oh, here we go. Here's some good advice. Be psycho, be serious, be happy, be you. Phew! Phew indeed. Got one more to go. I'm gonna swap out for a sword for reasons that'll be apparent very shortly. Now, the thing block does allude to this. Drop in. Don't mind if I do. And here you can see a practical use of the sword. Stab upward to get that one up. Or rather a practical use besides the obvious practical use of killing things. Time for the train ride. Yeah, you don't want to kill off the smokestack. There are some spikes that are difficult to avoid, like these. If you don't have any place to stand. Or rather, any elevated place to stand. Yeah, after getting through that hellish train ride in Little Nemo's Slumberland, I was expecting this to be a lot worse than it was. And it's not bad, it just keeps you on your toes. Much like the general rhythm of this game. You can really relax into it once you get going, but you still have to pay attention. And time to stomp Abigail Craven. Just bounce off Fester and whack her in the head. Luckily, she's got a pretty huge hitbox, so this isn't bad at all. The only thing is they will eventually get out of sync, so you either have to Leroy Jenkins into her, or just wait. Yeah, I should have a good chance to attack. Yeah, there we go. My memory has come back, Gomez, my brother, but Morticia, you must find her. Alrighty then. Yes, Fester, I will take your prize. Now, if you're doing a tool-assisted speedrun on an emulator, it is possible to glitch through walls from the left side only, but it requires superhuman controller inputs, so I had to go the long way of rescuing my family. Not such a big deal. Look how happy they all are. Now, this is a confusing area to start things off with. There are a few ways through here, but I think this is the easiest. Or at least the easiest for me to remember. Go through here. Ignore the directions. And we will make our way. And, well, get bitten. Thought those chains looked so cool when I first played this game. These big old foreground chains. Now they just kind of get in the way. So from up here, ow, we can get spikes up our nether regions and go find the switch. Two things to watch out for. Most of this platform falls when you touch it. And that dent, the indentation, is a hole, so don't fall down. Just go in here. And this can also be an annoying level if you don't know the secret. There is a vertical drop that's rather annoying to get past, and if you fail, you get plopped back in the piranha tank and you have to come all the way back here again. Luckily, we've got a better way through. Just get this first chain and kind of jump off to the... mess with the D-pad until you disappear into the ceiling. Enjoy the freebies, and the quick ride to the exit. Yeah, last refill is about right. This is about the last time the game actually hands you presents, and it just starts handing out tedium. From here on, we will be going through this long linear sequence of rooms. We've got to be extra careful because the mid-level checkpoints are gone. So if you die, you get to start over from the exit door, or the entrance. Wow, terminology fail. But really, with 5 hearts, it's not too bad. With a 2-heart run, some of these can be pretty frustrating. At least these levels are pretty short, all things considered. And they were trying to go for an engaging challenge here, rather than tap dancing on your sensitive bits with spiked heels. Not that you tap dance in spike heels, but bear with me here. I'm trying to liven things up a bit. Oh, that was convenient. I see this brown door and I want to paint it black. Because I'm an Addams. And that's my favorite color. Boom, 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 shooting like a bomber. Well, this whole game is rather boom, 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 money, funny, dollar anyway. Wow, what kind of occupational hazard is this? Yeah, there's a lovely beginner's trap. If you don't know that's coming, you'll probably get spikes where you never want to think about getting spikes. Might as well take what we can get here. Especially because it was rather refreshing. No idea what I was doing with that spinny thingy back there. How anticlimactic, you can just run right past that thing. Not so big of a cavern now, was it? Ah, 76 lives, I'm still flush. If you're ever down here and find yourself on the verge of running out, and you're playing on a console or just refusing to abuse saved states, what you want to do is you find a volcano and make sure no enemies are around and just stand on it and go make yourself a sandwich, or hell, just go eat dinner. Go out shopping for dinner. This takes a while, as you can see, but you let the game sit long enough, you'll eventually start getting points for a 1-up. Again, it's tedious and really only recommended in cases of emergency when you have nothing else to do, but it's still a trick worth noting. Wow, all that and I fell at the last minute. Now, I never worked out which is optimal. Swimming, riding the boat, or some combination thereof. Just tend to do one until I get annoyed with it, assuming I actually do get annoyed with it. Boat's treating me pretty well today. Oh, it was. Two, 10, 11. Eyes, fingers, toes. Wow, and how could I forget about the awesomest freebie area of all? Well, sort of. It's not as objectively awesome in terms of goods as Pugsley's Den, but it's got some of the prettiest scenery in the game. Rather blinding, but lovely. Very, very shiny. If you come up here with an infinite Fezzicopter, you can actually fly off the ceiling and glitch out the game. Doesn't accomplish much, but some temporary amusement. So, let's go finish up. Yay, it's Nasty Judge. I'm scooching with the L and R buttons here. And there is a way to get up there so he can't hit you. I used to be able to do that easily. Now I just can't seem to judge the distance anymore. So instead I'll just be dodging these gavels. And hit him when he goes off to either side. He never changes his pattern. Like, he tries to fool you there, but it's really not much of a trick. Well done, my darling. You have saved the family fortune, and Fester has returned to the fold. Think nothing of it, Carita. I enjoyed exploring this old house of ours once again. Oh, Gomez, I remember too. All those simply wonderful, dark and devious nooks and crannies. Unhappy, darling? Yes, completely. Awkward punctuation and all. Aw, bye-bye, thing. It's been a trip. And here we have one of the cooler credit sequences of the era. Caricatures of the development team. And it really goes to show just how much love they put into this game. This could have been some copy-paste movie license. But they put a lot of care into capturing this quirky cartoon gothic atmosphere that just feels like exactly what you would expect if you translated the movie into video game form. It's fun to blaze through like I just did, and it's fun to lose yourself in for hours just messing around. So I hope I gave you a sense of why I love this game. I loved it when it first came out, and it endures pretty well, even after 20 years in storage. And still plays smoothly, rusty thumbs and crunky controller notwithstanding. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tour of the Addams Mansion as much as I enjoyed giving it. And if you're so inclined, I highly recommend that you pick it up yourself.